Hey, welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host, Isaiah. And on today's episode, we're going to tidy up some loose ends for our 500 horsepower build. All right, so let's get into it and see what we got. Okay, we are kicking off exactly where we left off. So, we got the plug, right? We put our connectors on there. And then we're doing the same thing for the actual motor, putting our plugs on there, and I'm doing it the opposite of each other so you can't mix them up. And I would like to zip tie from around this link and put this wire pretty much like that. And then the plug, which will be this one, I'll be sitting right here. And then on this end, it'll be simple to plug in to this one right here. So it'll be nice and neat, tucked neatly onto the fan and kind of taken from there. So we got one side done almost, and then we're going to hook up this ground wire to the radiator just like that. Get a screw, pop that in there, and yeah, we should be good. So we're gonna do this for both fans and be back. All right. Okay, so the wiring for the back is done. I'm still waiting for the plug for the front because we have the plug right here, but I'm waiting for the other plug so it connects like factory. Now, on this side, we have the motor connected, so that's these two right here, right? And then we have the ground connected here and here. And then the last wire that has this boot and this connector, this is what turns on and off the fan. You want to make sure that this goes to your new thermostatic switch, or if you drill and tap the radiator, you know, custom or what have you, both of these wires connect to the same switch. Reason being is because this side that's plugged in turns on just the one fan. But when the car's AC is on, or if it's about to overheat, it'll turn on a second fan, which is this one. I don't do that, kind of a waste of time. I connect both of these together into one wire and connect it so all three fans come on at once, so you can get everything taken care of at once. So that means that if your AC comes on, all three fans come on. If your car's, you know, reaching the proper temperature to turn on the fans, all three fans come on. It's just better, you know, 100%. Keeps your temperature from rising. So we're gonna have these loosey-goosey until we get the upper pipe with the thermostatic switch on that. But as you can see, it plugs in like factory. And if you remove the radiator, you just simply unplug these two and disconnect your wire for your thermostatic switch. And of course, unplug your fan in the front if you do this mod, and that's it. So now we have to mount it. Okay, now for the mounting, like I was telling you, you take the two 10 millimeters out here and here, take this piece out, put it aside, then you pull these two wires out, so when you drill this piece, you don't drill into wires and cause another issue. So we're gonna line these up and get the drilling. We found the proper bit. Which is 932. Same size as this one. This is the one you want to match it up with. Right there. And same thing on this side. Actually, this piece is in it, but yeah. So you want to match it up to that size and then make that hole exactly where your mounts are. All right, so we'll be back. We're gonna drill it out and mount up the radiator. Okay, and then that is it. So once you put these on, you use the Allen key, screwing it down. Now you can trim the screw to make sure it doesn't press into the wires beneath it, but I have it set up to where the two wires are set like this, so the screw goes in between it. But I'd probably recommend trimming the screw down a little bit on both of them. But it is 100% not moving anywhere, and the radiator is done. Now, of course, we can't have the radiator in there when we put the motor in because it's not going to be enough room, but I wanted to knock this out just so I don't have to do it with the engine in there and there's less room. So now that this is complete, we can move on to removing the windshield washer bottle. Okay, so in order to take this bottle out, we have a 10 millimeter here, 10 millimeter there, and then a 10 millimeter right there. So the reason we're pulling out the window fluid reservoir is because we're going to run the intercooler pipe right through that window. Now you have a couple of different options as far as running your intercooler pipes. If you look here, so you can remove this wire, move these wires slightly out of the way, like more towards up here. Let me see if I can get you a better shot. There we go. So you can move the wires slightly up, and then you can cut this whole center out right here, and then you can run the intercooler pipe through probably a 2.5 inch hole, which will cover, let me see, take this out. This is for your hood prop alarm, which isn't even there on this particular car. And you can run about a 2.5 inch hole that'll cover all of this. And because we're not using these original tabs for the radiator, all of this is fair game. So you can go through here and keep your battery and run real close to the radiator. Kind of defeats the purpose of the intercooler when it's right next to the radiator, but it is doable. Or you can go down here, you see the intercooler pipe right there, make a sharp 90 and then have it come through the hole. And we'll touch more bases on this once we actually get it done, but have it come through this hole. This is all sharp, so you want to hammer this to contour the pipe so it doesn't eat into the pipe. But anyway, so that is the reason why we are we already removed the window washer bottle. So next we're gonna do the distribution block, and I need to explain this distribution block thing to you because it's very important. As you can see, the positive terminal used to go right here, and then the negative terminal is strapped to the chassis right through here. See, there we go. So it's strapped to the chassis, and then this end is strapped to the block. So basically ground is throughout the whole chassis, and it will not cause a problem if you ground in the rear or ground in the back. You just have to make sure wherever you ground it, you remove the paint so it has a 100% contact on bare metal. And then you can actually use like a corrosive agent, just, you know, just in case, cover your butt. And for the positive, we're going to use a distribution block. Now let me explain that. So this is the positive terminal that goes to the battery, and the car is not going to know a difference whether you have your power here or in the trunk. Let me explain. This is our new positive terminal that's going all the way to the trunk. This is 0 gauge. Let me take this off so you guys can get a good look. Okay, there we go. So basically, as you can see, it's like right next to it. There's a big wire thickness difference. I think these are 8 gauge. This is 0. Okay. Now, the amount of amperage that's allowed through this wire here is the reason why they use this gauge to begin with. This is pretty much overkill, but if any requirements, like let's say you have an upgraded alternator or whatever the case may be, it'll be able to fully charge the battery and everything connected to it without any draw or any lag or any delay or hot wires or anything like that. So we're going to take these wires off and connect a distribution block, and let me show you that. Okay, and just like that, if you take a look, your starter wire, your fusible link, and it looks like an amp, got a little fuse there, thinks that the battery is in the front, but it's not going to know the difference because 0 gauge, low resistance. So it's pretty much the same as if the battery was in the front. So it's just as simple as that. When you go to start the car, there won't be any lag or anything because the battery is coming from here and the starter only needs this much, which is a lot less than what you're providing. So it's going to come out perfect. And then your ground right here is not going to be used with the battery because you'll be grounding in the rear. We're going to get to that once we start installing the battery and things of that nature. But as for right now, this end of the wire is going to be useless. And then this end has to be connected to the block. The block needs ground because there's a lot of sensors that are grounded to the block, okay, including the starter. So the block has to be grounded. The ground comes from there right to here, and then this you can reground, so it'll have double the ground, you know, so you can put it here, here, wherever really, but it doesn't have to be connected from here because it's grounded right here. So that's pretty much how the battery relocation goes. It's very simple. I'll see if I can leave a link down below for a distribution block, and yeah, that's pretty much all we're gonna hit today. See if I could move this stuff out the way, make it a little bit more prettier, but because these wires are so short, gonna make it a little bit difficult, but I'll figure something out. And with that being said, we're gonna call it episode right there. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this helpful in some way, shape, or form. Definitely going to leave that link down in the description below if you guys are interested in relocating your battery. And this applies to pretty much any car. So, you know, definitely consider it. Of course, if you have a German car, some of your batteries are already in the trunk because they got the hint ahead of time. So, yeah, but definitely consider it. And, yeah. If you are new here and new to the episode, welcome. If you enjoyed, hopefully consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon for updated notification. But until then, guys, remember, knowledge is power, and I will see you next time.